$5,000, not the biggest number in the world, but it's the one that I reached, and that means that I can help you reach it too. You know, that is a fake $5,000 bill. It would be pretty cool if that was real, but it's not. So, let's get to the point of this video. Because I'm not a yapper, I'm a snapper? That didn't turn out as well as I had hoped, but we're gonna talk about the few lessons that I learned, precisely 5, that actually did help me get there. And so, the first one, and the first for a reason, is that I am sincerely begging you not to try to go for the money at the start, because it's just a grand old way to shoot yourself in the foot, you know, and make something take way longer than it should. I get that we want to make money right now. We are not in the business of being a charity, we're in the business of being a business and making a whole bunch of money. But trying to charge from the start is very much a miserable experience, and I can tell you that from my own life. Imagine if random Billy Joe sent a cold email to your inbox telling you that he'll help you manage your business in any real meaningful way, answering your emails, doing marketing, talking to prospects, whatever it is. But there's nothing on the internet about the guy. It's a Gmail address, there's no name, no portfolio, no case studies, no website, nothing that you can find on the guy, not a social media page, not a YouTube channel, nothing, zilch, nada. And then he comes around saying that he'll do it for a percentage share or any monetary value really. You wouldn't even finish the DM or the email, you'd just throw it in the trash. It happens sometimes on Twitter for me too, and that's kind of what I do with it. There are a few problems when you're completely brand new, but the main two of them is that one, you're probably not very good at what you're doing, and that's not a bad thing. Everyone starts that way at any skill in anything in life. Unless you've already been working a job somewhere and already have gained that skill set. And the second problem is that you have no idea how to market or sell yourself to prospects, and that was actually my main problem, because I had already uploaded a couple of videos and have been watching YouTube for years, so I had a decent idea on how to do the actual editing part, which is the case for my own business. A big part of actually just landing clients tends to be the whole social proof part. It's about 80% of it really. The better of a testimonial you have and the better your website looks, the more results that you have, the easier it is to land or convince anyone of anything usually. Meaning that most of the time you're just way better off going for the feedback and the testimonials, video preferred because that's a lot more convincing, than trying to charge from the start and arguing over pennies and dimes to get what you're worth and then just have a lot of trouble doing it that way. Because you don't have any real expertise yet that you can leverage for money. And I know that this might sound like a lot of time, because it is. I mean, you're not wrong, it's a lot of trial and error and basically bashing your head against the brick wall trying to break through it when you're not sure what you're exactly doing right and what you're exactly doing wrong, so that you can reliably land clients and build up a decent income. It's something that you either usually conquer with time, i.e. staying put in the game and just doing it over and over and over and over again, trying until you're somewhat competent in it, or you can overcome it by money, i.e. going after reliable people and paying for calls, audits, consultations, that sort of thing, so they can help shorten that gap for you and put you on the right track. But to make the money you need to land clients, and you get that knowledge by paying money. Okay, I see that we found ourselves in a conundrum. I've been lucky to be on the receiving end of a couple of consultation calls, and when you're talking with reliable, experienced people, it can be quite worth it. Other times it's pretty much just not, and you feel like you've wasted your money and you're just trying to navigate to see the right people. Although when you're starting out, you pretty much have no choice but to go the trial and error route and build up enough money by going after small time clients and people until you have that capital to try and go to someone experienced and just shake them and ask them, how the heck are you doing it? Help me! So it becomes a game of endurance and patience, a lot of it. I guarantee you that those are just two traits that you'll need to develop to last, because you just don't know who's gonna answer what message and what opportunities you'll find in your way. Hence repetition. Since we're on the theme of repetition, I want to touch back on a point that we said earlier about social proof. It really is about how good people think you are rather than how good you actually are. At least when landing that specific sale itself, because as soon as they experience your product slash offer, then the truth, whether it's in your favor or against you, is gonna come out either way. We use the same judgment as well. Think about whenever you're shopping online. Naturally, the most obvious thing to do is sort by the most reviewed and the highest reviewed down to the least, and then just narrow it down based on whatever specific criteria or needs that you have. We're naturally attracted to what other people validate because it's just an easier shortcut. There's an entire chapter on it in the book Influence by Robert Cialdini, which is actually a fantastic read, and I really think that you should give it a read slash listen, even if it's like 10 hours long. Anyways, the same applies to your product slash service. That means testimonials, case studies, results, reviews, all of that good stuff. You know, it's kind of almost like a monkey bars type of game where you use every testimonial that you get of a slightly better client tier, that you can use that to jump off to the next tier up and then get the client's testimonials from that tier and then just repeat it over and over again, raising your prices and your earning capacity with each time. Which actually reminds me, remember the patience part that we talked a bit ago about? Man, I'm just on fire today with all these callbacks. What I meant to say is that, actually speaking of patience, there's this really weird thing that results of you having to try and attempt the same thing over and over again. Is that you don't know which of them is gonna be your big break, the one that's gonna make it all change and sets your life on a different path. You don't know which client is gonna be the best one that pretty much just leads you eventually to being in a different tax bracket altogether. With all the referrals and the social proof from having a big name like that on your portfolio and in your repertoire of work. So there's this kind of weird phenomena that happens where you're putting in a lot of work repeatedly, showing up day after day, and nothing is happening, and then suddenly, boom, everything flies off the handle. You get one good client, and then you get 2 other referrals from them, and then suddenly you're making thousands of dollars a month. Just like that. It's that unexpected nature of it which makes it difficult, because you're not getting a lot of positive reinforcement through the earlier parts at least. So you're constantly thinking of questions of, is this worth it? Am I doing the right thing? Am I on track? Is this gonna work out in the end? And positive reinforcement is vital because it lets you know you're on the right track and you're making progress. You're not just stuck in place without any kind of life raft coming to you. That all that effort wasn't for nothing. But all of that doesn't even come close to the most important thing that I learned that helped me on a better track to understand what kind of people that I was going for and helped me qualify the leads that I was considering. Because it helps you determine your pricing, and if you're not sure about how to price your stuff, then this will also help you. But generally speaking, you can only make as much money as whatever you're doing is making the other person, is saving them on time, on money, or just the appreciation of the value that they're getting from it. So if your work makes someone $2,000, then you can charge comfortably $200, $300, $400 maybe of that. If it's $20,000, then $2,000, $3,000, etc. The numbers aren't exact, but the idea is huge, because that just means that at a glance you can qualify whoever that you're considering by seeing if they're a good fit for whatever you're pitching, and you can disqualify whoever isn't just by having a quick analysis on whatever they have online. It's all extrapolating off the idea that whatever you charge has to be below the value of what it provides, because pretty much everyone wants a deal. It's why haggling exists. And whatever is left over is surplus or goodwill. It makes for easier working relationships, more referrals, and just better satisfaction. It isn't a good idea to try to squeeze it to the last dollar, because you just put yourself in a difficult and oftentimes unpleasant situation. And that means that the best way to make more money is to have more value in whatever you're providing, or cause it to have a greater impact. To use myself as a quick example, there are plenty of giant channels that don't require that level of sophistication when it comes to the editing, cleaning it up a bit and adding some b-roll. But you can charge $400 a video because that channel gets hundreds of thousands of views, while if you do the same work but on a smaller channel, then you're gonna get like 40. It's all about scale, and tying it back to our point about social proof earlier, social proof helps you bridge that gap from going from a smaller channel to a bigger one. But I think I said plenty enough for one day, so if you're looking for a video on how to bridge that gap if you don't have a lot of social proof yet, then actually my last video is probably gonna be a good fit for you. I have a newsletter where I talk about business and stuff, so maybe give that a check. And with that, I'm gonna see you soon, hopefully. Bye!